Hey everyone, we did it. We are here. We are on the final one with the recapping. It is Friends Season 10. I am none other than your friendly neighborhood soda, and as always, I am joined by my good friend Ben Rayner. How are you doing on this somber day?
Oh, I'm depressed, man. I love the show. It's
So is your
like,
dog, apparently.
sorry about that, guys.
It's okay.
But yeah, I'm going to miss talking about this. It was
Yeah,
great.
it was a great journey. So much so it reawakened my love for the show, which had
And the
laid
most
dormant.
important thing.
Yeah, it had laid dormant for a while, and then once I got into that sweet spot, yeah, it's definitely a top five now, where it
Yeah,
rightfully should have been.
that's good.
Um, well, you know what? We're just gonna be the plenty of discussion. You just want to hop right into it,
Sure.
okay, man? What is your? Oh, did you have something to add before we started?
No, no.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, what's your number five?
I think I'm going to get punted, but I'll go to it anyway. Finish running.
Yes, not much of a punt, but yes, there's a punt.
Okay.
Okay, then my number five is the one where Chandler gets caught.
And on any of my list.
Um, Okay, then. So Rachel and Phoebe see Chandler getting into a car with another woman. He dodges their questions by pretending to be at work, but they follow him to the suburbs and find them entering a house. They believe he is cheating on Monica and tell Ross and Joey. The four of them tell Monica, but Monica doesn't react the way they thought she would. It soon comes out they are looking to buy a house in the suburbs to raise their family, the woman having been their realtor. The group tries to convince them to stay in the city while reminiscing about the past few years. In the end, Monica and Chandler get the house and tell everyone they are moving right after giving them gifts. So, what did you think of the episode? Like, I loved it because it's the first sign of this is the end.
I love this episode. Spoiler alert, I think every episode in this final season is grade A top quality.
So this must have been a really tough list for you then.
Yeah, it is. Um, and Ross has one of my favorite funny moments of the season in this episode.
Okay.
It's when they're all gathered at the table and Ross is like, you can't move. Every day when I'm getting drunk up just talking about it.
Yeah.
Every day when I come home after a lousy day, I look in here and I see every dinner and it makes me so happy. And then, yeah, it is a great moment and a great episode.
And a great creepy moment from Ross. Ugh. Quite the brother, isn't he? But yeah, this is the first episode where we do see the steps towards the final season because pretty much Monica and Chandler moving is the impetus for the end.
Well, don't you think them getting a baby in the episode?
No, because you could still raise twins in that apartment. That room was big enough, sort of thing, right? It's just you could tell that the chapter was closed. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can see the final page turning.
Yeah, I agree. It was the final page.
All righty there. What's your number four?
It might get punted. The one where is still alive.
The one was where Estelle dies is not on my list.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm talking about the right episode. Because I think
Hey, I've got the synopsis right here, ready to go in case.
Hold on, let me think. Let me look.
The one where Estelle dies is the one where Rachel finds out about Paris. Or no, sorry, it's the last one, the last appearance of Janice.
Yeah, that's not under this.
No, because I like these other episodes better.
Okay.
Although
Wow.
don't get me wrong, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. One of my favorite Janice appearances. But yeah, I like these other 5 episodes. I think are for me are better.
You quote yourself? Fair enough.
Yep, I should have that trademarked. You owe me $5.
Little money. Okay, anyway.
That can be arranged. Your life is worth more than $5. Don't worry.
Thank you. Okay, Joey gets pissed at this now because he thinks she's not doing a good job for him. But at the same time, Phoebe realizes Estelle died like a day or two ago. So she's trying to stop Joey from finding out. So she calls Joey a few times in this episode, pretending to be Estelle.
Might I add, a great impression of Estelle.
Oh my God, so good.
Yeah.
And that is going but we already alluded to it. My favorite part of this episode is Chandler and Monica find out the house next to the one that they already bought is up for sale. So they decide to take a look at it. There's another couple bidding for it, looking at it too. So as Monica and Chandler I'll say canoodling, but not hugging or kissing or something.
First base.
First base. There's a noise. Oh my God. Yes, Janet is uncomfortable thinking about buying the house next door.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Chandler's reaction when he says, "Oh, we're definitely getting." He's like, "The Hitlers will be so disappointed." Yeah.
And the only way to get the Genesis is not to buy that house is for Chandler in a very awkward and only Chandler way
Yep.
to come on to Genesis. And as she's getting more and more freaked out, she's like, okay, we can't do this. But before I leave, she flaps one on Chandler. And the look on his
Yes. So perfect bookmark jokes here. We hear her say, "Oh my God," Chandler's reaction. If we don't get this house, she's still going to show up wherever we go. At least if she's here, it eliminates the element of surprise. Never again will you have to hear the 3 words that make your balls jump back up inside your body. And his last words to her before she walks out, "They're never coming down now." After the kiss.
okay.
Oh, Mr. Shenandoah Bong.
Your number 4.
The one with the late Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yes. Not on either of your lists?
No.
Monica and Chandler decide not to host Thanksgiving, but Phoebe convinces them to by appealing to Monica's competitive nature. Chandler helps out for the first time by making cranberry sauce, and surprisingly, Monica lets him. Rachel and Phoebe enter Emma in a beauty pageant and win, while Ross and Joey go to a Rangers game, and as a result, all 4 are nearly an hour late. Angry that nobody turned up on time when they didn't want to host the meal to begin with, Monica and Chandler lock the door and refuse to let anyone in. Everyone manages to get their head in the door, but no further due to the chain being bolted. And eventually, Joey gets stuck and is sent flying into the food when the door breaks. However, the argument is forgotten when Monica and Chandler get a call telling them a girl from Ohio has picked them to adopt her baby, and everyone sits down for a belated Thanksgiving. That's why I love the episode right here. This is the moment where we find out that Monica and Chandler are going to get parents, and everything else in this episode is great. While the Ross and Joey storyline is probably the weaker of the 3 for sure. But sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, No, you finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just right now. Like I can remember stuff from the other two storylines. I can't remember much from the Rangers game, which is weird because hello, hockey fan.
No, because there is no story.
Yeah.
You don't see them at the hockey game, and you don't see Vincent and Phoebe at the.
Yeah, you do. You do.
No, you don't.
There is a scene where they're in the beauty pageant. We're at the beauty pageant. You don't see the competition. You see like them registering.
Yeah, and so minor that I forget, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's something at the hockey game. I doubt it, but
No,
maybe.
I like you know, we did see them at the hockey game. That's right. Basically, it was just like two little subplots that merged to create their own subplot. To meld it to the big story. Yeah.
My favorite part of this episode is a rock, paper, scissors. And yeah, showing us that, and what his name, in the blooper, when
that's the best part, yes.
Well, he's like, what the fuck is that?
That. And then they do the next take and they do it again, and he's like, what's that? And he's like, it's fucking fire. What do you think it is?
And I love it then all with the forehead, so and that thing that they make.
Yeah, then that famous Joey's eyes widening.
And Little Fish, I believe, Little Fish had only the time with Chandler making our Thanksgiving meal.
Exactly, which just shows how much he's grown up over the course of the series. Because, you're right. It's the only episode where he does not say anything about hating Thanksgiving.
And I think going forward, he'll be a fan of Thanksgiving. It's a holiday when they find out they're going to be parents.
Yep. There you go. That's another reason why he was on my list. All right. What is your number 3?
This might get dependent. The one with Princess Consuela.
Honorable mention.
Really?
Ben, we've done this show long enough. I think you know my MO, especially when it comes to the final season.
No, I know your MO.
I tend to skew more towards the highly emotional stuff. That's why, unfortunately, it is on my honorable mention.
Yeah, but there's some emotional stuff in here.
Once you see my top 3, then.
Okay.
All right.
Let me talk then. The episode opens with Phoebe and Mike having dinner with Chandler and Monica. Who comes in first? Ross comes in first, saying, oh, happy because he's getting tenure. Rachel comes in second because she had a big job interview. Joey comes in last because he finally got a piece of apple on lunch from his mouth. And Monica like, I don't know who I'm having for the most. And he's like, I do. He been getting looked at that from today.
And credits. Like it was a great cold open.
Okay, the episode Ranger has a job interview with Cookie.
Not Dagnino, the actual Cookie.
But when she gets there, she realizes her current boss is there, so she gets awkward. Doesn't get the Cookie job, gets fired.
Oh, let's not forget who played the guy she was doing the interview with.
Brett the Smiler.
Yes. Data from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Wait. Oh. Isn't it? No, I'm having a brain fog. Isn't it the episode when Chandler and Monica take Joey to the house?
Yep.
Are we sure?
I've got the synopsis right in front of me.
Okay. Joey and Chandler take Joey to the house. They get him used to it, but he really plans on sabotaging it. To stop them from moving. But he finds a little friend, played by Dakota Fanning, and they have a nice talk. It is funny. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Phoebe goes down to the name bureau to change her name. And when she runs into Mike, her name is revealed to be Matt Runner and take it.
Princess Consuela Banana Hammock.
That's right. And Mike says, you can't do that.
But insists that her friends call her Valerie.
Mike says, you can't do that. Phoebe says, yeah, John, you can have any name you want. So Mike decides to change his name too. Matt, please.
Crap bag.
So they're probably through the name changes until they run into one of Phoebe's old clients. And they have to introduce themselves. And that gets Phoebe to realize, okay, I'll change my name back to Phoebe Buffet
Hannigan.
Hannigan and Hammock.
Yeah.
Mike's like, do you even know what a banana hammock is? Phoebe's like, no, what kind of food? Man's like, it's a bikini. No, not a bikini.
It's a thong.
Thong. Speedo.
Yeah. Sorry, Speedo, yeah. Which might as well be a thong.
Oh my God. Matt, what do you think of this episode?
It definitely had some funny moments. Definitely the standout is the Joey Chandler Monica storyline. Man, Dakota Fanning at that age was really good at playing very mature characters. Because obviously she's the one that has to calm Joey down. But the highlight of the episode is one of them actually is when Chandler tells Joey that there used to be an 8-year-old girl in here, and that she died a long time ago. And also when they revealed to Joey that he's going to have his very own room. And that's when he's like, okay.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the ending part of this episode. As Wash and Rachel were leaving her office with a desk chair, they run into somebody.
Yup. Somebody we last saw after they were on a break. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, this person said to Rachel, call him. He might have a job opportunity for him. And he had to get going. So Wash is like to Rachel after the guy leaves. See, I told you. And I know this person. And Rachel is like, yeah, that's Mark. You were incredibly jealous of him. And Wash is like, that's Mark? I hate that guy. You can't have this.
Yeah, it all comes back.
And then at the very end of the episode, Wash comes plunging into Monica and Hannah's apartment and says, Rachel's not back from dinner. You haven't seen Rachel yet. Have you guys? Hannah's like, no. And they're like, why? Wash is like, she's out with Mark. She thinks they're friends. But I know he just want to have sex. And Chandler had my favorite line in the episode. I perfect the time travel. It's 7 years ago.
It very much felt like that. Also, I give a special shout out. Craig Robinson was this episode as the guy who hands out the name changes.
Yeah.
The very first time I ever saw Craig Robinson was there.
Much younger looking.
That's 17 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. He is before The Office.
Oh, way before The Office. Or Definitely a few years before the
Yeah. Not way before. The Office came out in 05.
So okay, the year before then. I thought it was a much bigger gap. Yeah.
Maybe even 04.
Hmm.
Matt, what's your number 3?
The punt from earlier, the one with Phoebe's wedding.
Take it away, my man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it on here. There it is. So this was actually a double length episode. It was a 42-minute episode, eh?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what. Phoebe's wedding to Mike is nearly upon the gang, and wedding planner Monica is going overboard. Shock, much to everyone's irritation. Eventually, it gets too much for Phoebe, who fires her, intending to do the job herself. Meanwhile, Phoebe has also asked Joey to give her away, causing him to give Mike more than a few warnings about Phoebe's welfare. Ross and Chandler also find that they're not a part of the wedding party, but compete when one of Mike's groomsmen drops out, and he offers to let one of them fill the position. A freak blizzard hits New York and becomes obvious the wedding will have to be postponed. But Phoebe and Mike decide to get married outside, with a still ordained Joey acting as minister, and Phoebe rehires Monica knowing she can pull it all off in time. Mike tells Ross and Chandler that he's decided to allow his family dog to fill in the vacant groomsman position, but still needs one of them to walk the dog down the aisle, and Chandler's fear of dogs allows Ross to fill the role only while Chandler fills in for Joey, giving Phoebe away. In the end, everything works out, and Phoebe has the wedding of her dreams in the snow-filled street outside Central Perk. This, I know, like, Phoebe's there to the end or whatever, but this felt like the perfect ending for Phoebe, you know?
Yeah.
Years of hardship. Mom commits suicide. Dad ran out. Stepdad's in jail. Grandma lied to her about her father all this time. Stepsister she doesn't get along with. Didn't know about her brother having. It's like everything she dealt with in this whole series led up to this most beautiful moment for Phoebe.
I have to be honest. I know everybody, all these characters. I'm more interested to find out what the hell happened to Phoebe.
I like where Lisa Kudrow put it. Living in a house with a bunch of kids. I think that's. I could see Phoebe being the soccer mom, but still being Phoebe. You know.
I can see them adopting a lot of kids.
Yeah, that too.
Like them being that couple that they.
Yeah, they could be like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. But it's also it's just the imagery of the wedding. It's so much different from everything we got in the past. Like before, was all the big weddings and stuff. But this one was just small. It was intimate. Just outside Central Perk with Christmas lights. It was beautiful. And Phoebe risked getting hypothermia just so she could wear her dress up there.
I found it funny, especially since it was right outside Central Perk. Still, they didn't invite Gunther.
No, he was there.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he helped with the lights. You do see him. Somebody says Gunther get the lights.
But was he working there or was he a guest?
Dude, the whole town was shut down from the blizzard. The thing wasn't even open. So why wouldn't he be there? Yeah. No, is it like seriously? Like you can tell. Like there's obviously the whole thing is closed. People are trying to leave, right? But do you know the song that Phoebe walks down the aisle to?
No.
Here, There, and Everywhere by the Beatles.
Right.
Yeah.
And okay, I think I know your number 2.
Yeah, what's your number 2 though? You got to go first.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, now, yeah. Bring out the tissues, kids.
My number 2. The one where the stripper cries.
That's one of my honorable mentions. I knew this was going to be up there for you.
My God, Phoebe wants a bachelorette party. So, Monica Winchell for her a pretty classy, elegant bachelorette party. Phoebe's like, screw this shit. I want a stripper. I want the whole 9 yards. So they go in the Yellow Pages. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who were born after 2010, Yellow Pages is a book full of phone numbers. We didn't have Google back in the day. We had to look up phone numbers.
I remember that. Yeah.
So they got a knock on the door. They opened up the door. The stripper comes in. He's not just dancing. They were pleasantly unhappy with the choice of stripper. So he can't help Kissy. Decided to leave. They tried to talk him out of it. He said, okay, I'll do one last show for you. As a swan song for my career, I'll do one more swan song dance for Phoebe. They get the music going. He's not stripping. He has a heart attack. They have to rush him to the hospital room. The best part is stripping is saying,
Folgers in your cup. Sorry, I had to do that. I started singing the Folgers jingle.
The best part is the stripping was played by Matt. Do you want to reveal?
None other than the Penguin himself, Danny DeVito. God, it was great. I love Danny DeVito.
And I did hear, I think it was on a commentary for this episode, and yes, this is an episode with a commentary,
Yes.
that William Pullman was on set with him.
I would hope so.
for a week, yeah.
I mean, that would be like, I could just imagine her like telling him, "You're doing it wrong," like giving him pointers. Because she's pretty funny in her own right too.
Oh my god, that one comedic couple, and I feel like doesn't get talked about enough.
True, but to be honest, they didn't do that much together. I think they only did the one movie.
Okay, Matilda.
Yeah, I think that's the only one they ever did together.
I'm getting that. Yeah. Meanwhile, Ross and Chandler go to a college reunion and see somebody that sets off a whole chain of reactions, real flashbacks, full with Fat Monica, pre-Donald Trump Rachel, and there is revealed real flashbacks that Chandler kissed Rachel one time when they were visiting. So they end up rushing into Monica's apartment, all kissing like. Ross is like, did you know that Chandler kissed Rachel back in college? And the events leading up to that, Chandler put her back on Chandler's bed, but Ross thinks he put her on top of a pile of cords on his bed. And we confirmed that no, it was definitely Chandler's bed. So, who did Ross kiss on his bed? Matt.
I know! Monica! Can't believe I got my pitch that high.
She was the pile of cords.
Yeah. And what was she said? You were my mystery.
My midnight mystery kissing.
Yeah.
He was like, you were my first kiss with Rachel? Monica was like, you were my first kiss ever? And
Chandler, what kind of family did I marry into?
Now, on top of Danny DeVito's dancing, I think this was the funniest part of the episode.
Oh, for sure. Whenever Ross and Chandler have their own, just the two of them, it is so good. Like obviously everyone, Joey and Chandler all the way, but Chandler and Ross is very underrated.
Because they have all that history back in
Exactly.
college.
And that's this episode in particular played very well into that. To the fact is this is the episode, or is it this episode, or is it another one where they're doing their online bios and Chandler says that Ross said that Chandler was gay?
In the other one.
Oh, okay.
In the one where Emma wants Joey's ugly and Joey won't give it to her.
That's right, the season prior.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, thoughts on this episode, Matt?
I'm with you. The best part of the episode is the Chandler and Ross stuff because, like I just said, they're great together because they have all that history to play up on, and to see them just try to constantly one up each other is, you can tell they're brothers. You can tell.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've given everyone what the number 2 is.
How about you? Said you know what it is, so say it.
What's been Rachel's going away party?
Ah, shucks. Of course, it's the one with Rachel's going away party. This was one of the best go home episodes. What a go home episode is the episode before the big thing. It's mostly used in professional wrestling terms, but it can be applied into this. It's the episode before the big event. In this case, big event is the final episode.
Well, when you say the undercard to the main event.
There you go. The undercard to the main event. And the last bottle episode we would ever get. Isn't it? Because it all takes place in the apartment.
Oh. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, anyways, as Erica arrives in New York to prepare for the baby's birth, the gang hold Rachel's going away party, during which she gives each of her friends an individual goodbye, moving them all to tears, except for Ross, leaving him hurt and wondering why she doesn't say goodbye to him. Rachel later reveals to Ross that with their history, it would be too difficult for her to say goodbye to him, and the emotional argument that follows leads to them sleeping together. Monica and Chandler start packing up their apartment, and Chandler finds a pair of handcuffs and tries to find out who they belong to. Erica goes into labor, leading Chandler and Monica to rush her to the hospital. Yeah, this is like as much... lot of tears in this one on my part from watching it. Joey took the news the worst, tried to jump off the balcony. Yeah, it's all the moments, because not just the characters are saying goodbye, but you're getting ready to say goodbye to the characters too. And this is one of the few times that Chandler actually says something that's not joking. When he says to Rachel, "This is like, I'm gonna miss you and I love you," and then he does. Sorry, can't help it. Let's have his inner Harloff.
In a great episode. I love Phoebe's goodbye.
Yeah, I love all their goodbyes.
Yeah.
Even Monica and Rachel's, even though you need to have dog hearing to fucking hear what they're saying.
I knew we got to see the stories. And yet we didn't see it.
Yeah, I know we didn't see it, but I think we saw what we needed to see.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that simple act showed us more than what any line of dialogue could of how he took the news. Think about it. Like, yeah, it could have been like everybody else where they had the breakdown and he makes a joke, but this one is very Joey. Yeah, and yeah, the Ross and Rachel stuff is just, you could feel it. You definitely sympathize with Ross being upset, but you also sympathize with Rachel for her reasons not to say goodbye. It's gonna be too hard. I get it. But yeah, this is a great episode. Let's not forget the storyline with the handcuffs. It's not Rachel's, who lived there prior. It's not Phoebe's. It belonged to Ross and Monica's grandmother, and there was pictorial evidence. Oh.
Well,
What's cake?
first, they wanted to give me Monica.
That's
And
right. That
like,
was Monica's and Richards and
yeah,
Chandler. This is Chandler bit. Yeah.
I love it that even until the final episode, even though he has no reason to be, he still gets to show us a Richard.
Can you blame him? That man is like a god even now. Who wouldn't want to be jealous of Tom Selleck? Come on.
Okay.
I'm kidding, Ben. I'm kidding. It's just nice to know that Chandler's will never be able to fully let go of a lot of his insecurities. Because I mean, if he did let him go, it wouldn't be Chandler.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's hit to say we saw Chandler grow up in
Oh,
the
yeah.
story.
100%. And that was most evident in the Thanksgiving episode. They never mentioned it. I honestly never noticed until I read that online. That it was the only episode where he didn't complain about Thanksgiving. And I was like, okay, that right there is sign that he grew up. And you see it also here and in the last episode.
And you know,
Really, you see it throughout this whole season.
I wouldn't even say listen before. Like, don't forget he was the one who wanted to try for a baby.
True. No, yeah, it's fair point. Definitely, okay. It started last season, but we also in this season we got his plea to Erica to let them adopt.
Right.
Right?
Well, how did that not undo this?
I don't know.
Talking about emotional, that one scene is
I can't remember what episode that is.
That is the one with the birth mother. I believe.
Yeah, that has to be at least on honorable mentions. That's going to be added on right now. Don't know how I missed that.
Man, check on that scene alone, man.
Sorry? Oh, I know. I don't know how I missed it. I really don't. I guess it's because all these other. I don't know. Like if you look at my 5, you're seeing a theme of endings. I just noticed that. Just realized that now. While that is a great scene, I guess it just didn't resonate with me and all the other ones. But it is a great scene.
What episode?
I'm saying the one with the birth mother. You think that would be on my list? But you're right. It would be. But if I look at my top 5 right now, they are all endings of sorts.
You remember Thanksgiving ahead of this one?
Well, I can't go back on it now. I can't go back on it now. It's on public record. But anyways, since I'm adding that retroactively to my honorable mentions, let's just do them now. And I'll go first. It was the one with the birth mother, the one where the stripper cries, the one where Joey speaks French, the one with Princess Consuela, and the one where Rachel's sister babysits.
Nice.
What about you?
The one with the mother on my honorable mentions. The one with Less's can.
Oh yeah, I'm an 8.
The one with Less's fine.
Oh dear Lord, yeah, that was a good one.
And the one with the cake.
Yep, that was another good one.
There were a lot of great episodes in this.
There really, really were. Well, it's safe to say it, but I think both our number ones are the same.
Yeah.
Right? It's the last one.
No, I'm kidding.
I would have been shocked. Yeah, it's the final episode. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit different. I'm gonna read the proper plots, part 1 and part 2. Part 1. Phoebe and Joey pack the belongings of Monica and Chandler, who have accompanied Erica to the hospital. Rachel leaves Ross's bedroom after their apparent reunion in the previous episode. Erica gives birth to twins, much to the surprise of Monica and Chandler, who were expecting only one child. At his apartment, Joey shows Phoebe his housewarming gift for Monica and Chandler, a chick and duckling to replace the ones that died. Ross arrives and confesses to the pair that he slept with Rachel. Rachel emerges from her bedroom and, to his disappointment, tells Ross that their night together was the perfect way to say goodbye. Later, at the Central Perk Cafe, Phoebe convinces Ross to tell Rachel how he feels about her before she leaves for her new job in Petty. After he is about to tell her, as he's about to tell her, Central Perk manager Gunther confesses his love for Rachel. Back at Monica and Chandler's apartment, Ross decides not to tell Rachel for fear of rejection. She prepares to leave to catch her flight, but waits long enough for Monica and Chandler to return with the twins, named Erica, after their biological mother, and Jack, after Monica's father. After Rachel leaves, Ross has a change of heart, and Phoebe takes him in her taxi to follow Rachel to the airport. Part 2. Joey returns to his apartment to fetch the chick and the duck he was hiding, but finds they have become trapped in the foosball table. Chandler and Joey decide to break it open when they cannot find any other way of getting the birds out. Phoebe's reckless driving gets her in Ross to JFK Airport, and after buying a ticket to get past security, they search the information boards for Rachel's flight number. When they cannot locate her flight on any of the information boards, Ross calls and checks the number with Monica, but discovers they are at the wrong airport. Ross and Phoebe drove to JFK while Rachel was flying out of nearby Newark Airport. Phoebe phones Rachel, who has already boarded her flight, to stall her for time. When a passenger, played by the great Jim Rash, who was the dean of Greendale College and Community, overhears Phoebe saying there is a problem with the fictitious left phalange of the plane, he gets off the plane, prompting everyone else to leave. Chandler and Joey, who are emotionally attached to the foosball table, find they are unable to break it open, but Monica does gleefully with a crowbar and mallet. After they retrieve the birds, Chandler suggests Joey keep them, and the two reaffirm their friendship with a long, tense hug. Phoebe and Ross arrive at the airport as Rachel boards the plane again. Ross tells her he loves her, but she is unable to deal with his confession and gets on the plane anyways. A dejected Ross returns home and finds a message from Rachel on the phone. She changes her mind as she explains her actions, then decides to get off the plane, but then he hears a flight attendant trying to force her to sit down. The message cuts off, and Ross frantically tries fixing the answering machine, wondering out loud if she got off the plane. From behind him, Rachel appears and says she did, and they get back together for good. The following morning, the friends gather in Monica's and Chandler's empty apartment and reminisce how all of them have lived there at one point or another. With some time remaining before Monica and Chandler leave for their new house, the six all leave their keys to the apartment on the kitchen counter and decide to go for one last cup of coffee together, to which Chandler sarcastically clips, "Where?" And they all laugh as they head down the hallway. The final shot shows the empty apartment slowly panning around from the living space to the front doors as Jefferson Airplane's embryonic journey plays. I'm getting goosebumps. My legs are goosebumpy right now. Yeah. Yeah. Where does this rank in series finales for you? Because as we were discussing, you and me last night, there aren't that many, but there are some that get to go out on their own terms. And this is definitely one of them.
Are we doing all the comedies? Oh, everything.
Any TV show that went out on their own terms. Because while there's a bunch, there's not a lot in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, where do I put that? I put the in my top 5. Not top. I don't know if I put this ahead or behind The Office.
Really?
And I'm not considering Parks and Rec now because it's too new and recency
You
bias.
can watch it more, yeah.
And my number 1 and my number 2 are firmly set there.
Seinfeld and Lost?
What?
Seinfeld and Lost?
No. Law and Breaking Bad.
Oh. Which my grandparents loved, by the way. And I got them to buy Better Call Saul.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And, yeah, also number 4.
Yeah, this, I'd put this at number 1.
I had them How I Met Your Mother.
Think so. because unlike How I Met Your Mother, there's nothing I can critique about how everybody ended up.
And everyone, one isn't divisive.
Everyone got a happy ending.
Hmm?
Everyone got a happy ending.
Yeah.
I haven't read any hate for it. It's just the landing.
See, people, you can have a good series ending with no, what do I want to say?
Drama,
Not drama.
controversy.
Controversy.
Yeah.
It can be done. I know it's rare. I know it's not. I know what company movement is to have controversy.
Yeah.
And you don't always have to have controversy.
Yeah. It's like, as much as I love How I Met Your Mother, that ending is not in the top 5 for me. It's how would it go? It'd be Friends, Parks, Office are the top 3. So I put Smallville up there as well.
Okay. Well, fine.
I'm trying to think of what other series that I've finished that I can definitely say. Oh, you know what? I would throw Fuller House on there.
Okay.
I think it would, because because that and definitely the last few episodes of that. Yeah, I'd throw that finale up there.
Not over the Full House one?
Well, because Full House was canceled. Fuller House went into the last season knowing there was the last season, so they were able to wrap it up properly.
Okay.
I'm going on finales that were able to wrap up properly.
Home Improvement.
Yes, that would actually honestly would definitely be up there. Probably bumping Fuller House to number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'd forgotten about that one. But yeah, what an episode, huh?
And me nods the previous seasons with a second look
Yep.
with Watts saying, and if you're on a break,
Yep.
this is perfect. And in my bookmark to the season 1 finale, when there was another
yes, where Rachel's the one going after him in the airport. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah, though this episode's special. It really is. And I mean, yeah, it's whatever. 5 white folks living a non-existent life that's not achievable in the show, but you know what? That's what a TV show is. A suspension of disbelief sometimes. And this is a fun ride. And this is a great landing to the long flight that was 10 seasons of Friends.
I love this show. It's a perfect comfort
Exactly.
TV show.
Exactly. That's the best way to describe it. It's a comfort food TV show. Because even the most heartbreaking episodes will make you laugh.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if there's much we can say on that, to be honest.
What do we have to look forward to next week?
So next week it is our full series wrap up. Yeah, definitely look into that. Just gonna have our top 5 favorite episodes. We haven't quite settled on a guest yet, so hopefully we'll have one. Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to it, because now we're gonna be able to talk about the full show, and it's gonna be fun. I've got my friend's book that I can peruse through now, that I bought when the show ended. Actually, no, I bought it a few years after the show ended because I bought it was in Vancouver. It's basically, I think I sent you a picture of it. Basically, it's like a series retrospective in book form.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's got interviews with all the cast, all the creators, breaks down all the seasons and stuff. Oh yeah, I got it where did I get that? I got it at the bookstore in Vancouver. Yeah, I'll resend you the picture afterwards. Yeah, it was released in conjunction with the final episode and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Should we announce what we're doing afterwards, or should we just wait for that?
Up to you.
I can give a hint.
Okay, I want to see this hint.
Dun 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 dun. Geronimo, baby, Geronimo. And if you're a sci-fi nerd, you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, no, that's not been doing that.
Isn't it?
No,
Yeah, okay. Well, I thought, what are we doing next then? Oh, duh. Right. Sorry, that's after what we're doing next. I've got this thing right in front of me, and it's like I've got it on my brain. No, we're sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna full out say we're visiting the town of Pawnee. We're gonna be doing Parks and Recreation. Sorry, I've been thinking about Doctor Who a lot lately, which surprise we're possibly going to be breaking down the Doctors later on. But yes, we're going to be signing up with Ron Swanson. We are going to be learning at the learning tree that is Leslie Knope. We're going to be laughing at things with Andy. We are going to be visiting Parks and Recreation, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. And Ben just watched for the first time ever.
That is true.
Yeah, and boy, did he watch it. He pulled a me. Yeah.
Okay, Matt, where can all the good people find you?
Well, first off, you could find me in about an hour playing softball. But on the internet, you could find me on Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me over on Schmoes of the North, where every week we break down what's going on in the Schmoedown. Plus, there are several other shows there. Let's talk about Star Wars. Several others that are kind of in flux. They just air whatever the episodes air. And of course, you could find me here on the Media Sweaties Network with Ben doing this show. Doing this show, doing Shooting the Breeze, and of course, our flagship show, Get Sweaty, every Saturday morning. Ben, what about you?
As you said, everywhere you said here, you can also find me on that other YouTube channel doing Mount Schmoedown, the Schmoedown show, where we go into players' careers and then talk about them. Last week we did JTE. This week we're doing Janine the Machine. So come join us.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. She's had a pretty good career. I also want to give a special shout out to Kevin Smets today, who has been discharged from the hospital. Looks like his cancer fight is over. That's what it sounds like. So congratulations, Kevin. We wish you all the best going forward. And I think this is the last time we sign off this broadcast this way. We'll see you next week, everybody. Don't forget, stay sweaty and smash cancer.
Stay sweaty, smash cancer.